Now who's being ridiculous? Still you, tall, she says, yanking out her ponytail holder and immediately putting her thick black curls in an even higher and tighter knot. Always you, says the girl who thinks random run-ins at bookstores and cupcake shops are the last things keeping the redhead in New York. You know what I mean. She stretches out her legs in front of her and flexes her toes back and forth, fuchsia pedicure winking in the sunlight. The universe is clearly smashing you and the redhead together. You've been crushing on her for almost the entire year, and you haven't even managed to get her name. This is the summer you finally introduce yourself and ask her out. I'm convinced. Or, point for going to my mom in LA, no pressure to make a fool out of myself to the redhead, who may or may not even be queer, let alone interested in me. Didn't you say she wears a rainbow pin on her backpack? Yeah, but maybe it's an ally thing. Maybe she's got queer parents. Maybe she has a bisexual best friend who absolutely cannot get up the guts to ask out anyone of any gender, despite the fact that she would be the world's greatest girlfriend and anybody would be lucky to have her. Camila says, pointedly. Whoops, I accidentally crushed the last couple of grapes in my hand. I shove them all in my mouth together to avoid acknowledging Camila's jab, sweet as it may be, and immediately regret it when one goes down the wrong pipe. She has to whack me on the back, and eventually it dislodges. You talk big for someone who's practically married, I shoot back. You haven't had to deal with dating since before we were old enough to date. That part isn't even an exaggeration. Camila's and Emilio's moms are both nurses at New York Presbyterian and bonded immediately over their parents being from the same city in the Philippines. Their kids bonded just as quickly the first time they met, and their friendship morphed into romance the second hormones hit. They've been Camilio for as long as I can remember. Let's tone down the judgment, please. That was a compliment mixed with judgment, thank you very much. She helps herself to some of the grapes, then reaches for her phone when it chimes with a text. Judging by her sappy smile, it's Emilio, which fascinates me because it feels like a person should not be able to still have that effect on another person after this long. Then again, I don't have much to model it on. You know those couples who split up and everyone is all, oh no, why? They seemed so happy. My parents are not that couple. My parents are the couple who make you say, what were they ever doing together to begin with? And they'd be right there with you in asking it. In their defense, or at least as they tell it, finding another Jew at a grad school Christmas party in Durham, North Carolina, seems like the kind of scenario for which the word bashert was created. Between awkwardly declining shrimp cocktail and crab puffs at every turn, and faking knowing the words to carols they'd only ever heard on TV, Ezra Morris Fox and Melissa Rena Farber exchanged numbers. Then they went on way too many group dates to realize they didn't actually like each other when it was just the two of them, eventually figured it out on their honeymoon, but also realized they'd gotten pregnant on their honeymoon, and voila, then came me. Cue 3 years of trying to make it work with couples therapy, 4 years of trying to keep it together by throwing themselves into their jobs and avoiding me as much as possible, and finally, a weary, inevitable divorce that was just amicable enough to work out shared custody. Until 3 years ago. When Melissa got poached from her marketing firm to join Cooper Frank in LA as an executive vice president, she couldn't say no, but I could. And my refusal to move to LA meant I was now in full custody of one absent-minded professor and spoke to my mom approximately once a week. So it could be nice to actually get to spend the entire summer with her. Or it could be awkward and miserable, lonely for my dad, and just generally an ill-advised mess all around. Who can say, really? Maybe LA will have its own version of the redhead, Camila suggests, her dagger-like nails catching the sun as she unscrews the cap on her coconut water. Los Angeles definitely has punk girls. How do you know what LA has? I challenge, watching a corgi do a series of tricks for a bone-shaped treat and willing it to toddle over so I can pet it. You're always complaining that you've never been west of Chicago. First of all,